today.
One of us is Marty and the other one's Gus.
What was that we were saying before? A couple of old blokes trying to make way with this new world?
Well, trying to keep up with the world.
Keep
Keep up with the world and everything else.
Yeah, that's really fascinating. You're keeping up the world. You know, I this is an aside actually, but keeping up the world. I lived near a school and they had something on the other night in the late afternoon before the primary school, so elementary school. Was it elementary? Yeah, the initial one, and they were playing all these songs, and they were like all these funky songs that I thought were adult songs. Yet these kids were all under 12. So I somehow thought I haven't really kept up. That these kids are listening to stuff, and I thought there was probably lots of overtones in those songs that weren't really for 12-year-olds, but they didn't know that. So
you mean like it wasn't appropriate? Is that what you're
Well, they weren't inappropriate, but they were songs that I thought were adult songs, because I just think to myself that 12-year-olds don't listen to songs like that. But maybe that's because I look in my time. Well, I don't know, when I was at primary school or elementary school.
Is your time different from my time?
Yeah, it could be. But
I think we went through the same.
I'm trying to remember if I was actually listening to the Beatles then. They weren't for kids. They were anyway.
I remember my mum and dad, right? Because my sister was older, like 4 years older than me, right? And she had this secret record, like an LP, like a vinyl,
long play,
yeah.
On screen.
And she somehow bought or got hold of this album, this LP, and it was hidden. And of course, mum and dad found it, and it was sacrilege to have this Beatles album in the house. And I was like maybe 10, and she was like 13 or 14. So those were the days.
Well, you had a record player, mate.
You did have a record player?
Well, later on, I think I've still got from my brother's collection. I've got one album left. I think left over after everything's been thrown out after all those years. Apart from the, Frankie Yankovic polkas, but and some of the other ones they weren't 33s. What were they? The smaller size in the 33 and the third. Whatever that was.
I don't know, 16 something.
No, they weren't 16s. 33. There was 44s. I think.
No, 45.
No, 45 was the single.
Oh yeah, it was, yeah. And
I think I've still got a single like I could use as a coaster. I'll have to try and find that, which is "Rock Around the Clock" with Bill Haley and the Comets. That'd be a classic. Yeah. But the other one that I've actually still got in my possession, which I might sell as some sacred thing, is I think it's called Frank Zappa's "Shake Your Booty." There you go, it's record. But that's
isn't that like a disco song?
Huh? Frank Zappa used to take the Mickey out.
So hang on. So
my I think it was called, one of them was called "My Hairy Little Jewish Princess." It's one of the songs. I think that's the song. There's a couple of interesting ones.
Are you making that up, or is it real?
No, Frank. Today's topic. Well, one topic amongst a number.
We finally got to the topic.
Well, we're gonna do idioms now. It's a wonderful word that I don't get to use. Now, I didn't say idiots. I said idioms.
Did you call me an idiot?
I didn't make up the word. which is a natural segue to Kirk Douglas movie, which I have to find out. However,
I didn't make up the word
Spartacus, and I'm going to talk about Zombieland, which is also on Netflix, not Spartacus.
You've got to say that Kirk Douglas in Spartacus, when Tony Curtis was there, he had this, Caesar or whoever wanted to identify Spartacus, and he said, if you identify Spartacus, then all you slaves and all you can Spartans or whatever can be freed, right? And then he stood up. He was about to stand up. Kirk Douglas or Spartacus. He was about to stand up, and then of course everyone stood up as well, so that they wouldn't identify him. You remember that?
I am Spartacus.
I am Spartacus. I am Spartacus. I am Spartacus. That was fantastic. And then that emotion, that driven emotion that welled up from inside somewhere.
That loyalty.
And that tears of just empathy and, it's making me feel sad as it is now.
Yeah, and they're using that everywhere now. They're using it in an ad campaign where a guy, I don't know if you've seen it, where the guy walks into the bar and he says, "Who's John Jones?"
Oh, have they? Are you kidding me? That's sacrilege.
Yeah, and then it looks like he's gonna, this guy's gonna punch out that guy, and so they're all looking at each other, and somebody says, "I'm John Jones." I'm John Jones.
No,
I'm
no,
John Jones.
no,
and then he
please
goes,
don't tell
I found your wallet. Here you go. Anyway,
No.
don't think it was John Jones.
That upsets me. I have to say, it upsets me. All right, so idioms.
All right, yeah, I'm going to use the biggest around. Look, nobody uses dictionaries anymore. In fact, somebody that I know recently,
It's a bound book.
asked me if I'd had a dictionary they could borrow, and I showed them this one, and they said, "Haven't you got a smaller dictionary?" To which I said, "Don't you want to have a full grasp of the English language?" But I won't mention who that person is. Anyway,
They're corrupting everything. Everything's becoming corrupt.
Idioms. Now, it's not a word that we use very often, and of course, you know, I forgot my glasses.
Hang on.
Can I borrow yours?
Hang on.
Oh, phone call.
Book.
Hello.
Book.
What? No, I don't know what you're talking about.
Where is book?
He wants to get about the book or something.
What
is it?
book? Where is my
I
book?
I don't
I
know.
want my
Does
book.
he sound Russian?
book.
Is it? I think it's the Chinese Superman. Mr. Chinese
Where?
Superman, are you trying to make a
I
joke or
want my
something?
book.
Are you having a song? No, he wants the
Book.
book.
Where's my book?
Nah, it's definitely not this book.
No, this is a prank call, okay? Don't worry about it, forget
Book.
it. No, we're recording right now. We can't be interrupted, okay?
Tell him I haven't got the book.
We don't have the book. There is no book. I don't even know what book you're talking about.
That's all.
Okay, bye-bye.
It's rudely
That's your
interrupting my...
book.
I feel like I'm doing a sermon here, but idioms.
What was that
idioms.
about? What was the book about? I have no idea.
I don't know. It might have been a long lost uncle of mine or something.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
That's another story. Right, idiom. Group of words established. Of course, I didn't bring my glasses with me, did I? Do you want to lend me yours? Just give me those for a second. There you go.
This is a magnifying glass.
Whew, I can now read it. All right, a group of words established by usage and having meaning not deducible from those of individual words.
Can you just say that in plain English?
As in over the moon, see the light. So it's a form of expression peculiar to a language, person, or a group. And I won't go any further, but it actually is, it's from the Latin and Greek, interesting enough. Latin, idioma, and from Greek, idiom. And effectively it's sayings and things we do, just like somebody says, the ball's in your court. Well, I just get confused by all these things. The ball's in your court. Now, if you're not playing tennis or squash, that's about the only thing you can sort of say. The ball's in your court. So there's a lot of things we say in life that really have no...
Yeah, but it's become generic. They're like ball.
it is generic. There's another word I was looking for, but you threw that one in. It's a form of communication that we use as a substitute, and it is something that we're using so loosely these days that if you're not a native English speaker, then you will be lost to it. So idioms, there's a whole lot of idioms, like even in Australia, which we are, you can tell by our accents, somebody might say a dime a dozen. Well, that's really a very Americanism, and even, what did it actually mean originally, a dime a dozen? Yeah, we know what it means, but we're substituting, we're using words and phrases, I guess, indiscriminately. We're not really saying what we want to say. A blessing in disguise, for instance. If you're religious, it's okay, but a blessing in disguise. Stop beating around the bush. I just want to know who was beating around the bush before that
Actually,
started.
I don't even know what that means. I mean, I know what it means, but where would that have come from?
Well, that's right.
Beating around. Who beats around the bush?
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's to do when we were traipsing around in I was going to say caftans, not caftans, in skins perhaps.
Shorty shorts.
Shorty shorts and skins. Many years ago, beating around the bush. Or is it about a drum?
What bush are you talking about, and why would you be beating it?
Yeah, well, exactly. Who knows what?
Seriously, I'm not kidding.
And we're talking about George Bush, or bite the bullet. Here's another saying. When somebody says, "Well, you just got to bite the bullet and accept it." Well, what does that mean? When we know what it means, we know what it means. But if you told that to an English-speaking German,
but what does it mean? What does it mean?
Well, I guess metaphorically, a wonderful word there, metaphorically, if I've got that right. Metaphorically, it is to basically accept the given fact, but I don't know what
No,
it meant
no,
literally.
No,
Bite the bullet.
I actually think that it's a real saying because people used to bite the bullet for some reason. I remember hearing something about that. So to test that,
Yeah, but what? But biting a bullet literally.
yes, to
What
there was a reason.
Were they
for
talking
it.
about those chocolate bullets? Used to be
No,
chocolate
no.
licorice ones.
No.
Or
I'm pretty sure it was
you
literally the
decided
real.
to bit of bullet. But was that when they had to bite a bullet when they had a snake bite, and so somebody dug it out so they'd bite a bullet so they wouldn't?
No,
So
no.
I don't know what that means.
I actually think it was the real biting the bullet, and this is going back again to the real McCoys. Remember the real McCoy?
But I'm going to go back to idioms because all these idioms that we have everyday life. There are thousands of them, and one of them is like here's a good one. I love this one. It's cold enough to freeze the balls off a brass monkey. Now, people often think that you're freezing the balls off a brass monkey. Now, that's not a rude thing actually, but it's not really a brass monkey that's been a brass monkey statue. It's actually that one I know is actually a good one, a good idiom. It's actually a brass monkey is a ball holder, a cannon ball holder that used to sit next to the cannon. And so in the old days when I can't remember ever seeing, well, I'm not old enough to have seen a cannon shot, but they'd be stacked up, as if you can remember, and they'd be stacked up. And what would happen is because metal contracts when it gets cold, the cannonballs would actually fall off, and it's cold enough to freeze the balls off of a brass monkey, and the brass monkey being the great, so they'd all fall off, and that's how cold it was. So that's
Is that real?
That's what I
Have you done the research on this?
I've done research on that to authenticate that one.
Actually, I'm impressed by that.
So there's some interesting ones out there, and
So why was it called a monkey?
well, they called it a brass monkey for whatever reason. Brass monkey. They were made of brass, and that was
Did
a
it
brass
look
monkey.
like a monkey?
Well, they don't know. Yeah, they don't know.
Maybe a monkey has
it was
another
a
meaning.
grid. That's probably another research thing. But yeah. So yeah, on idioms, there are fascinating things that I think are really more relative and relatable to native English speakers. And I actually wasn't even a native English speaker. I get confused by stuff given that I spoke another language as a child. But anyway, I wanted to review a movie today. And
Nice one. Good one.
it's called Zombieland. It's on
Zombieland.
Netflix, and it stars Woody Harrelson.
Oh, he's good. He is good. I don't know anything about this
The other
movie.
guy who I don't actually know, I think he's the young guy that plays in the Facebook movie, curly hair, and I'll have that come underneath. But it's not your standard movie about zombies. In fact, I thought it was about zombies, and it is, but it takes the mickey out of everything. It's hysterical. Woody Harrelson is funny as and plays sort of a straight up sort of character shooting down, and they go through and basically eliminate all these zombies and meet other people on the way. It's hysterical. I recommend it. I think it's a 5-star.
Thumbs up.
Somebody else mentioned it to me, but it is great guns, and catch it on Netflix when you get the opportunity.
He's good.
Funny
Woody
stuff.
Harrelson is a good actor, I have to say.
He hasn't had a lot of movies lately. He hasn't done a lot. He's a White Man Can't Jump. He's well known for.
But Woody Harrelson, I have to say, yes, good film, good actor, fantastic, versatile, extends himself.
Okay, so you were saying Woody.
Yeah, I think he's a really talented actor and probably underrated.
Great movie, fun, and I hate zombie movies, but this was just such a, I use the word pisser. It was really quite excellent. Anyway, I think that's...
Yeah, but hang on. Why do you hate zombie movies? Because I can't stand them.
I just think they're not real, but, you know, this is takes the mickey out. It is a stand-up movie, so it's very good for that. I'd recommend it highly. Anyway.
Would I enjoy it?
I think you would. Yeah, I think you'd enjoy the fact that they're just taking the mickey out of it all.
All right, so
I think we call it off from there. Okay. That's over and out from me.
and over and out from me. See you next time.